Hi everyone, I'm Jolene Saldivar. I am a PhD student at UC Riverside, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to participate in the Painted Lady count and how to submit your observations. So I wanted to start off with a little background on the species because it's very interesting. The species is found on every continent except Antarctica and South America. The Painted Lady migratory cycle in Africa and Europe can reach up to 7,500 miles in multiple generations, and this makes it the longest migration known for any butterfly species, even longer than the monarch. In California, or in North America, rather, we have our own population with its own migration. You may have seen the headlines, you may have seen the butterflies out and about in 2019 and 2020. These migrations caught the headlines and left people in amazement as the butterfly totals were thousands to millions at one point. The butterfly boom was a result of a wet winter in deserts along the US-Mexico borders. The butterflies are migrating through Southern California on their journey north up to as far north as British Columbia. There remains a lot to be known about the migration of the painted lady butterflies in North America, and I'm hoping for another large migration this year. So this is the first sheet of the packet, and it's the actual data sheet that you will complete for each observation day or period. It's very important to fill out this top portion and provide as many details as you can for your count. Now there may be days where the butterflies are there are far too many to count, and that's fine. In that event, you'll just go ahead and check this box and send the sheet over. If it's possible to count the number of butterflies, then you'll just break up your 10-minute count by 1-minute intervals and tally the numbers here. So I want to spend some time going over the procedures for the count, which are on the second page of the packet. And it can be a little intimidating for folks who haven't participated in such counts. So I'm going to break it up for you here. The most important thing is to make sure you're conducting your counts between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. This is because butterflies are cold-blooded or ectothermic. That means that they rely on their environment for warmth, and they use their wings to absorb sun. This also means that if it's too cold or cloudy, that the butterflies, they're not going to be active. So make sure you're conducting your counts during that period of the day. Again, with the heat, the temperature is very important. So aim to conduct your counts on a sunny day with no to moderate wind and temperatures of at least 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Counts will last 10 minutes total, and they're going to be broken up by minute. Go ahead and use a timer to alert you when each minute is up, and make sure that you take no longer than 30 minutes to write down the total butterflies before you start your next 1-minute interval. Count butterflies within 40 feet or 12 meters of the observer, and this is about the length of a city bus. Don't worry about being exactly precise. Everyone's going to have a different idea of what a city bus looks like or what 40 feet look like. So just go ahead and be as exact as you think you can be. It's also important to only count painted ladies that are in flight. If you see any, landing on the ground, or maybe you're just walking around and you see one on a flower, don't count those. Don't worry about those. We're only worried about the ones that are flying. And again, be sure to fill out all the information on the top portion of the survey before starting your count. Feel free to conduct as many counts as you'd like during the migration. Maybe some folks can only conduct one count, and that's completely okay. If you can conduct counts throughout the entirety of the migration, even multiple times a day, that's very great. And feel free to do that, but don't stress if you can only conduct one count. Now, some of the safety tips I have for you are very basic. I don't think that butterfly observations, or at least in my experience, butterfly observations aren't very dangerous. But it's important to carry water with you. Carry a cell phone if you have one, and that's even better for taking photos. I'd like to follow everyone along during their counts, and see what it looks like out there. And it's also good to use a timer on your phone, perhaps. And if you're going out alone, let a friend or a relative know where you plan to be and what time you plan to be back. And this is just standard procedure for folks, like when you're going hiking and stuff, because you never know what you may encounter. Here's a description of the wind by category, and that's going to help you fill out that first portion, that top portion of the data sheet. Very straightforward. Um, you use these descriptions to help you get an idea of like what moderately windy temperature or conditions are. So in that case, like the leaves, look at a tree. If the leaves are rustling, then it's definitely within this category. And lastly, painted ladies, they're kind of con- some folks confuse them with monarchs because they're yellow. I'm sorry, they're orange and black. But painted ladies are actually a little smaller. They're smaller than monarchs. I don't expect folks to be able to see these details when the butterflies are in flight. But if you maybe get up close to one or you have the opportunity, you'll see these four eye spots on their bottom wing. But don't stress if you can't necessarily see these markings. You'll know they're painted ladies because they're going to be flying in these large groups. Um, so definitely don't stress out over not being able to see these details. Now, I'd like to thank you all, and I hope you all have fun doing this, getting outside and seeing this great natural phenomenon and appreciating the beauty that we have in what is Southern California. Go ahead and shoot me an email if you have any questions. Also, you can send your data sheets that way. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and see, the progress of the count and other of the progress of my other research projects, you can do so there. And also on Instagram, I have a Painted Lady account. So if you would like me to feature your photos or your videos, definitely tag me or DM me. And this last link, you can visit that link for the data sheet, the link to the online submission form if you prefer just to fill out a digital submission form. And there are going to be other resources posted on there, and I will also put all of this information in the video description. Thank you all again and have fun.